Hey, so family, checking in with the Astro T, and this is a particular conversation that I wanted to have. I just did a previous video to explain to you guys about Saturn entering Aries, okay? And of course, Saturn entered Aries in May of 2025, just a few weeks ago, and it's going to remain there till the 28th. And this is one of the situations that actually real time happening on what I would consider a true Saturn and Aries story. So let's talk about it. Now, this is the Nottaway Plantation, okay? And I Googled, so let's talk about the Nottaway Plantation because it burnt down. And it burned down, it says the Nottaway Plantation. It was the largest surviving antebellum plantation house in the southern United States, and it was destroyed on May 15th, all right, 2025, so just recently. And it was a historical structure that, again, it says Nottaway Plantation, known as the Nottaway Resort. So it was a resort, guys. And the plantation house was a historic plantation house located near White Castle, Louisiana. Okay, and the home was of a Greek revival and Italianate style mansion built for John Hampton Randolph in 1859. So check this out. And it was 53,000 square feet on four floor space, and like I said, it was the largest surviving, antebellum house or slave plantation. So it's been around for quite some time. I want to highlight that. And the story behind it briefly, it said that the man John Hampton Randolph was born in Virginia in 1813, a member of the prominent Randolph family. He migrated with his family to Mississippi when his father, Peter Randolph, was appointed a federal judge in Woodville, Mississippi by President James Monroe in 1820, okay? So it says John Randolph married Emily Jane Liddell in 1837. They had 11 children. Randolph devoted most of his time to his cotton plantation, but believing growing sugarcane and producing sugar would be more lucrative, he decided to move his family to the southern Louisiana in 1842, where he purchased this 1,650-acre plantation, and he named it for his home, converted the plantation to new crop. Two years later, constructing Everville's Parish first steam-powered sugar cane, Randolph was able to triple his earnings on the cotton production. So within 10 years, he had increased his holdings to 7,116 acres and acquired 176 slaves, okay? Making him one of the more prominent slave owners in the southern United States. 1855, Randolph purchased an additional 400 acres of highland and 620 acres in Mississippi riverfront land, where he sought to build a more prestigious home that named it that Nottaway in Nottaway County, Virginia, where he was born. That's where he get the name from. Now, he ordered all his slaves to build his house. Although he laid out the design, he also designed the neighboring Belle Grove that is now destroyed, okay? So let's talk about it. So this was a plantation that he used basically all his slaves to build the home, okay? And also let's talk about this other situation that's going on. And this I Googled was the Annabelle doll, guys, okay? So it says that Annabelle doll is supposedly a haunted Raggedy Ann doll, and is housed in now closed occult museum of the paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. So Annabelle was moved there after supposed hauntings in 1970, okay? A supposed character based on the doll is one of the antagonists that appear in the Conjuring Universe series, okay? So according to the Warrens, a student nurse was given the doll in 1970 They said that the doll behaved strangely and that a psychic medium told the student the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a deceased girl named Annabelle. Now, the student and her roommate tried to assist and nurture the spirit-possessed doll, but it reportedly exhibited malicious and frightening behavior. And it was at this point that the Warrens say they were contacted, moving the doll to their museum after pronouncing it demonically possessed. So the doll remained in a glass box at the Warrens Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut until the museum's closure over the zoning violations. Okay, so it says that the Texas State University Assistant Professor of Religious Studies, Joseph Laycock, says that most skeptics have dismissed the Warrens Museum as full of off-the-shelf Halloween junk dolls and toys, books you could buy at the bookstore. Laycock calls the Annabelle legend an interesting case study in the relationship between pop culture and paranormal folklore, and it speculates the demonic doll trope popularized by the films such as Child's Play, Dolly Dearest, and The Conjuring, okay? And surrounding the Robert the Doll as well as the Twilight Zone. So a lot of interesting things, but the basis of this, where I'm going with this, is Annabelle doll is on tour right now, guys. So they were told, from my understanding, legend has it that, and let's Google, that Annabelle is not to have been removed, okay, from the actual museum. Okay, so let's type in Annabelle on tour. Let's see. Annabelle tour. Okay, so it says that the Annabelle dolls tour across the country sparked theories. Okay, so she's on tour now, guys. Okay, and the issue is, when this Nottaway Plantation burnt down, Annabelle was on tour in Louisiana. So, basically by talk and me just looking at some of the, commentary, they're saying that Annabelle could have been the spirit that possibly burnt down this Nottaway Plantation that you guys see, as well as, interestingly enough, I don't know if y'all heard, but the 9 inmates that were able to break free. So they saying that since Annabelle is on tour and that she was in Louisiana at the time, well, mysteriously these inmates were able to break out, as well as this plantation burning down, okay? I thought that was really, really interesting that they said that this was all because of Annabelle. But I'm going to give it, guys, this is, to me, a traditional Saturn and Aries story. And the reason why I say that is because Saturn is, of course, old. Father Time, elderly, older structures. They said this particular plantation was built in 1800. So that would be classic Saturn. And guess what? Aries is what? The ruler of Mars. Mars is the planet of war, fire, okay, action, So in the energy space of Saturn entering Aries, I'm going to say that Aries burn this down, okay? And I'm going to say that if they want to say that Annabelle did have something to do with it as well, Annabelle was what? How old is the Annabelle doll? Quite old, 1970. Again, Saturn energy. So Annabelle may just have been coming around for her reparation. Who knows? But it's interesting that we got 9 inmates. We are in the year of the 9. 2025 equals 9. So that was the 9 inmates that broke free. But I just wanted to give you guys a reference and just some interesting things going on with Saturn and Aries energy, okay? So I'm going to chalk it up to Saturn and Aries. But hey, Annabelle could have did her thing too. So peace and love. And guess what? Even if she did, it would still be a classic Saturn and Aries story, all right? So peace and love. I'll see you guys soon in the next one, so family. And that is your Astro T.